Hey everyone, Classic TBC has been out for a good 7 months as of the time of posting this video, and there's one very popular question that I've been seeing everywhere: Reddit, our YouTube comments, other channels' YouTube comments, Retail WoW Discords, you name it. And that question is the following: is it too late to start Classic TBC now? If you're an active player of the game, you might think that the answer is clear-cut, but for someone new or someone that only played very little at the start of the game, not so much. There's a lot of things to consider and a lot of factors that come to play when deciding whether investing the huge amount of hours usually required by MMOs is even worth it for Classic TBC at this stage of the game. So today, we'll try answering that together. Let's get into it. Alright, so if you're wondering whether starting now is too late, chances are you've not reached max level yet. So let's start from the beginning: leveling. Leveling in any MMO, and especially in Classic WoW and Classic TBC, is a huge part of the game. Very often, it's in the 3 digits of hours for most players to reach max level, and that is gonna be your first goal. So, is it too late to level? Well, of course not. People are leveling alts every day. I myself have been leveling my warrior from Classic through Outland for the last few weeks, and I'm very close to hitting level 70 now. The journey from 60 to 70 has been very enjoyable. Even more enjoyable than early when the expansion launched actually, because there's way less people to fight for mob tags with. But that is Outland. What about the 1 to 60 leveling in Azeroth? Well, if you didn't know, when TBC launched originally in 2007, everything related to leveling has been made faster and more streamlined in Azeroth. Leveling requires way less XP, tougher quests have been made easier, dungeon levels narrowed down, and much more things like that. So it's definitely not the super hard journey that you've been hearing about during Classic anymore. I personally leveled a Draenei when the pre-patch for Classic TBC launched, and it felt both significantly easier and faster. I'd say 30% faster to be exact. And that's when there were a ton of players everywhere in the world, making tagging mobs and completing quests harder. So right now, it should be even faster than that for you. Now, just remember one simple but very important thing here that you'll hear me repeat a lot in this video. Whatever you do, make sure to select the server with the highest population. It's a bit sad that Classic TBC has come to this, and it's mainly Blizzard's fault to be honest, but nowadays most players are migrating from lower pop servers to the higher pop ones. And we've seen the rise of quote-unquote mega servers. If you want to enjoy every aspect of the game to its full potential, I highly suggest you go on those mega servers, but more on those in a second. For now, let's move on. Another concern for a lot of players that want to start or return to the game is finding players to play with. Is the game now just full of hardcore players that are fully geared and clearing the latest raids every week and not accepting anyone new, or otherwise is there still a demographic of newer players to play with and experience the content anew together with? Well, obviously there's way more experienced players with TBC nowadays actively playing the game compared to the start of the expansion. But that has way more benefits than you think. Most guilds will always take any player as a social if they just ask nicely, and I'm sure a lot of players in those semi-hardcore/hardcore guilds will be willing to help you along the way if you ask nicely. Then, as you level up, get gear from dungeons, and get yourself in your first few raids, you can start climbing the ladder and move from social to raider in that guild. If you don't want to go that route though and prefer to only play with casual players who themselves are still discovering the game just like you, that demographic also exists in pretty much any server too. In my server, for example, there's literally a guild called the Leveling Guild. I'm sure they do some high-level dungeons or raiding sometimes too, but those guys' sole purpose is to create an environment for players to level together, which is awesome. Of course, to find all those different demographics of players, you'll first need to go to a healthy populated server. And that's another very important reason why you want to go on those high pop servers. If you don't know which server in your region are worth going for, you can just use the website ironforge.pro. In short, this website shows the most populated servers based on how many are participating in high-level content. Pick your region, then pick your server type, PvP or PvE, and go for the highest populated server there. You can't go wrong. Okay, so you leveled, you found some people to play with, and you finally reached max level. One important factor to the age-old question of is it too late to start now is whether it's too late to progress through endgame. And you'll be glad to learn that TBC's endgame is among the most casual-friendly, alt-friendly, and new and returning players-friendly endgame of any MMOs. Even more than Classic WoW, and I would argue even more than Retail WoW actually. The more the game adds newer content, the more the older content becomes both easier in terms of difficulty, but also in terms of getting into. For example, Karazhan at the start of the game used to require a key to enter, a key which you would spend a huge amount of time getting. Then Kara itself was quite tough, especially bosses like Nightbane, Shadowrun, and so on. Now, not only has Kara been nerfed and made easier, but it also no longer requires that key to enter. Heroic dungeons will also see that happening to them in Phase 4 of the game. Currently, you need to reach Revered with a specific faction to zone into any heroic dungeon. But once Zulaman releases, that's gonna be lowered to Honored, which you can reach basically while leveling. And yeah, there's a ton of examples like that with TBC. Content stays relevant throughout the game, but it becomes easier and easier to both clear and get into, which is awesome for new and returning players. Now, in terms of amount of content at endgame, there's a plethora of things to do for any demographic of players in TBC. From dailies for making gold and unlocking awesome looking mounts, to hour-long raids that you'll have to work getting into, TBC has hundreds or even thousands of hours of content, depending on how much of it you want to experience. The beauty of it is you definitely don't have to experience all of it. If you want, you can decide to never do a single daily, and there's no renown or artifact power system that forces you to do them to progress your character. If you want to never set foot in a single raid, the Heroic and Badge of Justice gear will have you covered not only for the current phase of the game, but also in the future when more gear will become purchasable with Badges of Justice. And if you want to become the richest player, or the player with the biggest mount collection on your server, or the player with the highest arena rating on your region, you can do that too. TBC has a plethora of things to do, but you definitely don't need to do all of them to enjoy it. Now then, we talked about the pros of starting now in TBC, and there's definitely a lot more that I haven't talked about. But let's now talk about the cons. What are some factors that may have you say, maybe it's too late to start TBC? I think one big factor would be the population. It's no secret that the population of Classic has been slowly dwindling, all throughout original Classic, but even more so now in TBC. Servers are becoming more dead by the day, and players are deciding to jump to higher populated servers to save their experience with the game. Even Blizzard is playing into that and encouraging players to move to higher pop servers by offering free server transfers. They did that once already a couple months ago, and they probably will again in the future. Of course, that's easily solvable. Just start in one of those high pop servers from the get-go if you're a brand new player. But for example, if you're someone who has a level 60 from Classic in one of those dying or dead servers, it's a hard sell for you to pay a server transfer on top of a subscription to even try to get back in the game. Another unfortunate thing with TBC now too is that Azeroth, and also Outland to an extent, feels completely empty. I said earlier that that's a good thing too, because you might not care at all about that. But if you want to do dungeons while leveling, for example, or if you want to take on an elite quest, you'll find that getting players for pretty much anything that isn't endgame is gonna be pretty tough. That's also unfortunately the case in any low-level Outland dungeons. Ramparts, Blood Furnace, and so on normal are mostly abandoned in my experience, which was definitely not the case at the start of the expansion. Everyone was leveling through dungeons all day then. Not so much nowadays in my experience, but it might be different on your server, who knows. Outside that, there's also a bunch of different factors that may affect people differently, like the fact that Classic TBC has a literal paid level boost in the cash shop, bots plaguing the game, toxicity, the game being solved at every stage, and much more things like that. But those were some of the big negatives. All in all, I think the pros definitely outweigh the cons here. And to answer the question once and for all, is it too late to start Classic TBC now? No, definitely not. And TBC still has a lot more content to unveil through the last few phases. Phase 3 is about to release quite soon in fact, which will mark the halfway point of the game, and it only gets better from here. As I kept repeating through the video, whatever you do, make sure to play on a high populated server. It's an unfortunate reality, but low pop servers are shrinking by the day and the higher populated ones are growing meanwhile. So you should just jump the ship yourself to not suffer in the process. And if you have a character already that you want to continue playing that's unfortunately in one of those dead servers, either wait for a free server transfer to become available in the future, buy one yourself now, or simply make a new character on a high pop server. With that, this marks the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, remember to give it a like and subscribe to the Classic WoW Curios channel for more content like this. I will see you guys in the next one very soon. Bye for now.